I keep thinking about how if you do something every day, you're going to get better at it. And I haven't really filmed much videos lately. I kind of got into it for a week and felt super easy, and it was something I wanted to do, talking to myself. And then I was kind of like, all right, don't really feel the need to, or don't really feel the want to. I don't need to, but I heard someone say, if you do something every day, you're gonna get good at it. You're gonna get better at it, and so over years, especially, like, if you do something every day for years, you are going to be better at it. Like, especially if you're actually putting effort into it and you're not just going through the motions. You're consciously enjoying it and trying to get better at it and trying to improve. You will get better at almost anything. I mean, there are things that you just can't enjoy no matter how hard you force yourself to do, in my opinion. In my experience, like, if you were a slave, I don't know how if you were a pure slave, I don't think you could enjoy certain tasks, especially if you just have no say in them at all, stuff like that. But that's just to prove a point, basically. But if you really enjoy doing something, you could see yourself doing that thing without doing it for a job. You like it that much, and you do it every day for a long time, you are going to get good at it. And you know what? You can make a job out of like anything nowadays. Like, I like to play basketball right now. I've been playing a lot of basketball. There's been some great competition nearby, so it's a lot of fun to try and guard like some college basketball players. Try and see what I can do because it's the best competition I've ever seen. So it's like it's a good challenge. So it makes me rise to challenges mostly make me rise to the occasion. Sometimes not, but I feel like the only time challenges don't make me want to rise to the occasion are when I feel like the game is unfair. Like, I feel like life can be so unfair so often, but like in basketball, if someone's just fouling me and like ripping at my arms as I'm driving past them or holding me back, then I don't feel the need. Like, I don't want to try. They're just cheating. Like, that they have to cheat to play. It's not really a good game. So I don't rise to those occasions. But when it's a good competition, when it's a real game, I normally rise to the occasion, and I love that. I love saying, "Oh, okay, now we got a real challenge right now." That's how you should be in life. You have to view challenges as good parts of life, not as bad parts. Otherwise, you'll fear the big moments. I guess that's not true of everyone, but I mean, you don't have to be like that, but you should. I think you should. You're not going to die if you don't think like that, but I think you should think like that. I saw videos on TikTok lately. I think they were from some guy called like Accurate Thought. And there's this crazy guy giving this lecture, and there's just so many clips of it. And basically, he sounds like a crazy person. He's like, your vibrations make your reality. The frequency at which your thoughts vibrate shapes your reality. So the only difference between you and where you want to go is the frequency of which your thoughts vibrate. I mean, I guess, like, you can't really... It's hard to argue that, I mean, but it's hard for him to prove that as well. I don't really think we can definitively prove it either way, but I think to most of us that sounds kind of ridiculous. I mean, shit, lately I've been trying to live like that, I saw those and I was like, shit, why not? I'm going to start behaving like I'm Steph Curry, or like I'm the guy, like I can do whatever I want. Look at life like... Well, okay, not like that. I don't think I can do whatever I want, But I do the things that I want to do that I know aren't going to get me in trouble or obviously, like detriment me. Like, talking to myself like this doesn't hurt me, gets me better at speaking, has a chance of making me money, has a chance of making me infinite easy money. Like, why would I not do this? Like, this is enjoyable in like all senses. Well, I mean, it's not that enjoyable. Like, I wouldn't do this for hours, but just throw the camera on, talk for a few minutes, organize my thoughts. It feels relaxing. Feels like... I'm trying to compare it to something. Like after exercise, when you stretch, kind of feels like that. completely impossible to understand metaphor, but for my brain, it feels like my brain is stretching right now. I'm just stretching my brain, just yapping, basically. And if you don't hear yourself talk, like you don't really know how you sound to other people. Like I catch myself all the time when I'm recording saying things that I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I believe that, and I have to like back up and say, well, no. But that's a good thing to catch. Like that's a good thing to notice in a video instead of in the real world. But again, that's just another example of yeah. See, but now I'm understanding that I'm talking too much and I'm not saying things. That's another thing I need to work on. I think everyone in the world needs to work on that, is getting their thoughts across in less words. Like, you know how much time we could save if we didn't have to listen to all these crazy long stories that just tell like a 2-sentence story? How many times have you heard somebody say a 50-sentence story or something, 20-sentence story, and it could have been told in 2 or 3 sentences? Doesn't that make you angry? That makes me really angry, because time is like the most valuable thing. And I waste my time all day long, but I don't know why. This is such an irrational anger. Like, okay, I feel like everyone has this irrational anger. Like, you hear someone tell, like, a ridiculously long story that just takes, like, way more time than it should. Maybe that's just me. But also there are times where I guess, I'm very introverted, actually. So this is interesting to think about. I'm very introverted, right? I feel like I recover when I'm alone. Like, extroverts, they feel like they need to be with people, and I still feel like I need to be with people. I need to be social a bit, but definitely not as much as other people, because I don't know, really, that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's caused me to be in less situations where I find the conversation boring, because of that fact, I hang out with people only when it's like the most interesting activity to me, or like the best use of time, or like the most fun, basically. Whatever I think is going to be the most fun. Like, if people are going to do something and I don't think I'll enjoy it, then I don't do it. It's very simple. Like, I don't really like hanging out with people just to hang out with people. If I'm not doing an activity that I would normally do, then I don't really do it most of the time. But I don't know if that's kind of hard to articulate, though, but I'm saying that because of that, because I normally only hang out with people a lesser amount, that I tend to have less boring conversations from my point of view, because I'm not there for the boring stuff. So everything we're doing is relating to interesting things to me. I never really thought about it like that. But it's true. But it's just simply like I spend less time with my friends. Yeah, this is the simplest way to put it. I spend less time with my friends than most people. I spend less time. So there's just by nature going to be less boring conversations. Like, there's going to be less awesome conversations too, probably, but like by nature. But because I'm not used to those boring conversations as much, they make me. I mean, they don't make me that angry. Like, I'm not like, this is just like such a minor inconvenience in my life. This is not. I feel like I've made this sound like my life is going to end because of these 20-sentence long stories. No, it's okay. I will not die. I wonder if most people have like a person that comes to mind. This is rude. I know. I never dislike a person for something like this. I just dislike a characteristic of a person, I love everyone. I like all people. I love everyone. But like, I feel like everyone has a person that comes to mind when I talk about this stuff. Like, just the person, the yapper. Not even yapper. Like, I know yappers who don't do this, but then there's some. It's not even yapping. It's when you take excessive amounts of words to explain something. Like, Like you can tell a story of like I was at the bar the other day. I spilled my beer on this guy, and he just socked me in the jaw, and I just had to like walk out. Like you could tell that story in two senses, but then people be like, sometimes people be like, dude, yesterday night I was feeling like going out, so I gathered the boys. I texted Tommy, I texted Ryan, I texted Bill and Bob, and we all got together. And you're just like, this isn't that important. Well, you don't know this yet, but by the end of the story, you're like, all right, so that was a lot of unnecessary background information. Just a lot. You could have told us what really happened, and it wouldn't have been much different at all if you just used less words. That's very frustrating to most people. I mean, I don't know. That's my experience in life. I feel like most people have pretty similar experiences of life, despite like everyone thinking we're so different. I feel like everyone's lives are pretty similar. Like even the super rich people, like once you get super rich, I feel like the first like year of it is probably like awesome, or like the first like 5 years maybe even like you feel so great, but then life probably feels so dull after like you've had everything. Like you probably those people get depressed often, I think, but it's what you're used to. Like humans get used to everything. We adapt to. If you run a mile every day, your body's gonna adapt to that and shape itself so that it's easier for you to run a mile every day. It's incredible. And if you become rich, your body makes that normal so that's just like a biological instinct to always improve. Like if you always felt like you were on top of the world, like you had $1 billion and nothing mattered, then you would never improve or do anything. Well, some people would, but for most people that would be enough to just enjoy life's desires, retire. I don't even know if this is right actually. For me, if I could just like enjoy life every day, like I don't know what I would do yet, but if I could just choose everything that I did, I don't know, man. I don't even know what I want. I don't know what I want, but I don't know what I want to do, but what I want to do is not a normal job that I can just go out and grab. Unfortunately. Being a personal trainer though, that would be fun. You're just in the gym all day, you're moving all day, good exercise, good for your body, good for your health. Probably get a free gym membership. And it just saves you so much time, like, because you probably live close to your gym, like, and then you're going to be at the gym already. You can get a workout in during your shift or after or whatever. But, I don't even really want to lift. I'd rather train kids in sports. Like, I'm pretty good at soccer and basketball. Like, not even just like I'm not even that good compared to like pros, right? But I know how to play. Like I've been incredibly competitive at FIFA and 2K before. I've been incredibly okay. Well, that's bad examples, but I promise you, I've watched a lot of NBA and I understand the game really well. In game, when I play with my friends, when I play well, I'm a playmaker. I find the open man. In soccer, I've always been kind of a playmaker, a center attacking mid was my main position in club soccer. And basketball, I'm kind of like a point guard, shooting guard, but I'm heavy on the ball. I set a lot of screens. I set a lot of action. I know how to use screens. I watch basketball. I got super interested in it, so I watched the Warriors. I've watched so much NBA and footage and how people use screens and how the rules work. And NBA is really interesting to me because the rules are there's so much gray in basketball rules. Like, it's not like a black and white rule. Like, you can't touch people's arms. Like, you can. Like, okay, they may say you can't, but then, like, it happens, like, every play. So, unless it's, like, bad enough to ruin the play, then you can. It's like, these rules aren't even true rules. They're not, like, laws. They're more like you can't touch a person's hand. Okay, but we're not going to blow the whistle, like, every single play. Like, that would just ruin the sport entirely. And that's kind of what's going wrong with the NBA is they have to call so many fouls because players can't just get, like, passed on when they're on defense. They won't just, like, let someone go by them or let someone beat them. But that's a part of basketball. That's a part of sports. The confidence of people doesn't want to let them, so. That's interesting to think about that. Most athletes, at least when you watch NBA, every time there's a foul, like 99% of players are just like, what? I didn't foul anybody. What? They put their hands on their head. What? I didn't touch anyone. What? They put their hands up after like assaulting a guy. And because because to be at that level, you need some kind of delusional confidence where you can beat anyone. Like, no matter what the problem is, you can get past anyone, you can defend anyone no matter what. And if it's a foul, then the refs are wrong because I was defending him easily. So it's a good thing for those athletes to have, but it's hard, it's like it might be slightly irrational sometimes, but it's like an incredible characteristic, an incredible trait to have. So